Here's how I budget my salary of $130K as a data scientist living in Seattle. Okay, so here's my gross income. That's before taxes. That's just like my monthly amount. Then here, this is how much I contribute to my 401k every month. That's so that I can max it out. Here is how much I pay on miscellaneous taxes, expenses, insurance, that kind of stuff. So then here is the total I take home every month. I get paid on the 15th and the 30th, and that's how much I get each pay cycle. Okay, first I always pay myself to the savings and investments. So total of $2,900 goes into here. I try to keep my expenses low so I can invest a lot of money every month. So that's why that's so high. My safety fund and my trip fund are both in my high yield savings account, and my down payment fund and my investment account usually are in my brokerage account. The down payment I put into more safe investments like certificate deposits, things that I'm not going to lose money on and that they roll over and they expire, so I don't have to sell stocks to buy a house when I want to. This is my needs category. It's everything that I absolutely have to pay in a month. So my rent, obviously, my utilities, groceries so I can eat, and then I pay for half a parking spot with my boyfriend. And next we have my wants category. So these are the caps for the wants, not like how much I actually spend. Some I use every single month, obviously like dining and drinks and those types of things, but like I don't always use all my gym fund. I don't always use all my like nails or miscellaneous. Like it just really depends on the month, but that's like the max that I should spend on this category in a month. And here we have my subscriptions. These are just obvious things. I don't know why I made them a different category because I felt like it, but here we go, $88 every single month towards subscriptions. And then this is the last section on my budget. It just tells me how much money I spent. Technically I spent $4 more than I have, but like I don't. It's okay. Like, it's fine. As long as you're within that range. Sometimes I'm usually under the budget, so at $4 here or there, it's okay. This is the overall of the budget sheet. I was just showing you zoomed in images, but this is how it looks all together. I do have at least 3 different spreadsheets I use to keep track of all of this. Like my safety funds, I have a spreadsheet that tells me how much money is in each fund. I don't have a separate bank account for every single fund that I talked about. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful, and let me know any questions in the comments. Bye!
Hey friends, I'm a 24-year-old making $67,000 a year at my salary job. I have other streams of income, but today is payday, so come budget my paycheck with me. In my last video, I went through the tools that I typically use to budget, and I highlighted my monthly budget spreadsheet that I created for my fiance and I. The link's in the bio if you guys are interested in downloading a copy for yourself. I typically get paid every Friday. This week's deposits came out to $1,720. I was paid $1,032 from my 9 to 5, and I made around $688 from my second stream of income. All of the numbers I'm telling you guys are after deductions, but I don't use a 401k to save for retirement and utilize an index universal life policy, which also doubles as my life insurance. So this month I paid $113 into that. I saved $250 this week to start preparing our cash tip envelopes for vendors after the wedding. I set aside $40 for gas each week, but my fiance and I carpool because we work so close to each other. So this week was his week to put gas in the car, so I ended up putting my $40 towards the wedding savings fund. I give myself $100 of walking around money each week. I set aside $248 for my portion of the rent, utilities, and Wi-Fi for the month, $204 for expenses, $204 for bills and subscriptions, and lastly, I put all of my additional income of $688 to the wedding fund. And that brings this week's total to $1,847. Bye guys!
2025 is going to be the year that we get our finances sorted. So here's how we're budgeting for the month of January. I spent the month of December building this budget in Google Sheets, even though I am deathly afraid of spreadsheets, so that feels really good. Our starting balance was $6,823.28. So far this month, we've brought in $9,234.37, and this comes from my husband's paycheck, my maternity leave income through Paid Leave Oregon, and our 2 rentals. I'm not sure that we'll stick with this format through the entire year, but I like the concept of a 50-30-20 budget. The idea is that you split your budget such that 50% goes towards your needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% towards your savings. I think we'd like to be a little bit more aggressive towards our savings than 20%, but we'll see how things progress through the year. The nice thing about a budget is that you can totally customize it to fit your needs. We've budgeted $9,099.58 for our needs, $1,202.45 for our wants, and $5,755.72 for our savings, which will ultimately get transferred to a high-yield savings account. I would say that it has been easier than I thought it would be to get into the mindset of checking our accounts daily and keeping an eye on our transactions, but it is only January 4th, so follow along to see how things go for the rest of the month, and let me know if you have any questions. I'm an open book.
Hey guys, I'm Lexi, I'm 26 and I make $70,000 a year as an account manager. Today's payday, so I'm going to show you how I organize my money and budget my paychecks. I get paid twice a month, and after retirement contributions and taxes, my take-home pay is $1,992. I also got paid $300 for a bonus offer that I got for opening a new checking account. So first I pay off my credit cards. I had $620 on one card and $78 on another card. I always pay them off in full to avoid paying any interest. That leaves me with just under $1,600, and then I put $500 into a different checking account to save it for half of my rent and $240 for half of my car payment. Now I have $854 left, so I transfer $400 to savings because I try to save 20%. That leaves me with $454 until the next payday.
I just got paid, so let's budget my paycheck as a 22-year-old software engineer living in the Bay Area. After taxes and 401k contributions, I'm left with $3,368.70 for my bi-weekly take-home pay. I paid $1,000 for my auto loan, which is a lot higher than the monthly payment, but I want to pay it off as fast as possible. I live at home, so I paid $700 to my family as my monthly rent. I also send my mom $500 each month to help her with her groceries and taking care of my little brother's daily needs. I then budget $400 each paycheck that goes into my travel bank account, where I pull money from whenever I need to book a trip. For my food and drink, I set aside $200. For my personal expenses like shopping and other miscellaneous items, I put aside another $200. I then send the rest of my paycheck off to a high yield savings account, which I do not touch unless in case of emergency. And that's my paycheck. Follow along to see what I do with my next one.
It's payday today, so let's budget my paycheck as a 25-year-old making $120K with 2 jobs.
What happened these past 2 weeks financially cannot happen again.
At my 9-to-5 as a marketing specialist, I made $3,365 before anything was taken out. At my second job as a call center agent, I worked 40 hours and made $1,000 in commission for a total of $2,081. After all the deductions, I brought home $3,618. With that, I'm paying off my $3,800 credit card balance. Don't judge me, most of it was for the Airbnb, so I don't regret it, but that doesn't mean it didn't hurt to see. I still need to put aside $700 for half my rental property expenses, so I'm close to $1,000 in the negatives. I'm taking from my savings. Hopefully my next check will bring me back up to the positive. Usually I'd invest the rest, but I have nothing left this month. Woohoo!
It's payday, and today I'm budgeting a 29-year-old's $100,000 salary with just over $23,000 in debt. For reference, I'll be using my budget template that's linked in my Stan store. They get paid bi-weekly for a total of $6,248 a month. They only pay $650 in rent, bringing their total fixed expenses to just over $1,500. After all their expenses are paid, they have over 75% of their income left over. Their financial goals are to pay off debt and start saving for a house. Because they have such a high income in comparison to their expenses, I budgeted for them to immediately pay off their credit card at $3,800. Once it's paid, they'll have $922 for the rest of their spending. And the following month, they should wipe out their line of credit for $2,500. Within a month and a half, they will have their high interest debt paid off, and they'll be able to start saving up for a 3-month emergency fund. As always, you can submit your budget on my Stan store. Okay, bye.
It's payday! Budget my paycheck with me as a retired shopaholic who is desperately aiming to crush her debt this year. Can I get an amen? Amen.
Got so many bills, bitch.
Word to Tokyo Tony, these bills don't stop like clockwork, but luckily this check I didn't have too much to pay. This check I got paid $1,616.18 after taxes and the 401k contribution. It's the end of the month, so all I had to pay was my car loan, which was $415. Then I paid my personal loan for $453, which left me with a total of $634. $300 of that I put into my high yield savings account. My goal for the next couple of weeks is to have $1,000 saved, and then I will go back to paying off my Bank of America credit card. Anywho, so with the last couple of $100 I have left, I'm most likely gonna have to buy gas and food for the week, which would leave me with around $100 left for basic necessities, or I might end up treating myself, of course. So that's my payday routine for this week. I'll see you guys next week, and make sure you follow for more.
I got paid yesterday, so let's budget my paycheck. Usually I do this every Friday, but I just got back from a trip in Texas with my sister, and I was dead to the world yesterday, so let's do this now. I am 28 years old, I make $85,000 a year, and I do not have kids, so this is what budgeting looks like for me. My biweekly check was $3,269.23 after taxes and a 5% 401k contribution. My take-home pay was $2,194.30. I have an automatic transfer from my paycheck to my high-yield savings, so my total to my checking was $2,084.59. I already had $267.30 in my checking account, so my total to budget is $2,000. $2,351.89. Typically, I'll transfer half of my rent for the month with each paycheck, but because there are 3 pay periods this month for me, I skipped this. And most of my bills go to my credit card, but there are a few that are not set up that way or can't be paid with a credit card. So the bills I paid this pay period were $50 to my student loans, which is literally a drop in the ocean of my student debt. I paid $600 between the 2 of my credit cards, and I moved $1,300 to my high yield savings account. This left me with $200 for the next 2 weeks for groceries and $100 as a buffer. All of my spending goes to one of my credit cards, so this is really just in case of emergencies and to not zero out my account. And that's how I budget. It's super easy, very straightforward. I'm going to make a separate video on the spreadsheet that I use, savings, priorities, debt payments, whatever. But the link to the spreadsheet that I use is in my link tree in my bio. Thanks for watching. Bye.